It was very bad because the way it was given to me, I had no idea what it was. When I was told it was non-A, non-B, I think it was 1992 or 1993 in Melbourne, and the doctor didn't know about it either, and I had taken my partner along. We both had tests, and she'd said to my partner at the time, "You're all clear, but I need to speak to you. It's really important." And then asked my partner to leave. Well, then we both had a heart attack, and the first thing that came to our minds was that I was HIV positive, because we didn't know anything else. And I said, "Well, whatever you can say to me, you can say in front of my partner." And she said that you're non-A, non-B, which is something to do with hepatitis, and then sort of blundered, whatever the word is, her way through it. And I certainly didn't understand what she meant, and I wanted to know, was I infectious? She said yes, because they didn't know much about it. Can I pass it on to my partner? Yes, I could. How? We're not quite sure yet. So we were both very scared. And the consequence of that was the relationship was hurt a lot as well. I mean, and here's this general practitioner that we all look at for answers for health issues, and they had absolutely no idea of what this was. I mean, it was only early, but I thought it was Melbourne, and being, having come from Sydney and then being in Melbourne, I always assumed, probably obviously wrongly, that they would have the information prior to most other states or territories in Australia. So I was really scared because I couldn't get any answers. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what I could do, what I couldn't do. And bottom line, what I did is I cut myself off. I pretty much isolated and created probably more issues in my relationship than it needed to be because I was so scared. I don't particularly know, because I'm one of these people that I know that I would have contracted it around the 70s, late 70s, maybe early 80s, or around about that time. I was an injector, an injecting drug user. When I injected, we didn't have needle and syringe programs, so we pretty much reused, shared a lot, sharpened our own on footpaths or cement or whatever you could do to keep them sharpened. And I, one of my nicknames on the streets was the drug pig anyway, so I'd use anything and everything. So, but I'd also had tattoos in King's Cross, and because that's where I lived, on the streets in King's Cross, and I'd had tattoos there where they weren't using the proper methods, like they were sharing the ink because they didn't know about all this sort of stuff. So there's that possibility as well. However, in 1988, I was in a major car accident and had to have a blood transfusion as well. So you pick, pretty much. So, but the bottom line is I have Hep C. I don't know how I got it. It probably was the injecting, but I don't know. I know a lot of people that have contracted it through blood transfusions too, so I don't really know. Well, the three common factors is blood to blood. Bottom line is injecting is, the blood, microscopic amounts, the sharing of the needles and all the equipment that goes along with that. Mind you, when we didn't have a lot of that palaver that went with it, It was just about putting it in something and getting it up your arm, And the steel, by the time we ended up using it and sharpening it, didn't end up feeling like it was steel at all, You almost had to push it in. But there again, that you've got the blood to blood. Tattooing, exactly the same thing. If they're using the same inkwells, they're using the same implements to tattoo the person that they did before. They cleaned it with basic sterile stuff, probably alcohol of some sort. And same again with blood-to-blood transfusion. Once again, it was the blood, and at that stage, as we all know, pre-1990, they didn't test for Hep C because they didn't know about it. Yeah. So, but yeah, the common factor being blood-to-blood. Initially, it didn't. You know, the fact that it's a slow-progressing disease, I suppose, is a bit thankful. Well, I'm a bit thankful that it's slow progressing, but I'm not so much thankful anymore because I've gone past that slow period, you know what I mean? I've probably had it for about at least 25 to 30 years. I used to be a lot sicker than I am today. Lethargy is the prime one for me, and that can be from just a little bit tired to someone that's akin to chronic fatigue syndrome, where I just can't get out of bed, and I call them I'm having a Hep moment. That's usually what it is. You know, they can still happen today, but they certainly were a lot worse before. Pains in the right side where my liver is, pains in the lower back, maybe the liver being inflamed, pushing up against my kidneys, that sort of stuff. Being moody also was because of the pain, but not relating the two together, you know. And this is all retrospective. You know, at the time you don't realise that that's what it is. You know, it's the same as, you know, when, for me, and I can only say it for me, when I was using to cover up emotions. But at the time it's, oh my God, I'm having a feeling, stick a needle in my arm. You know, that's just, you know, oh my God, I'm having a feeling, have a chocolate. It's not, you don't know until you look back at it. Ah, that's why I did that, you know. So it's the same sort of thing, really. Get in contact with the Hep Council and they can help you find support. You know, whether it's from here or whether it's from a chat line or whatever it is, you need support.